Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis, and God has gifted me with this wonderful team, so I like to introduce them as well. First off is Faith, my lovely assistant. Faith has been my assistant since the day she was born, probably while she was in the womb too, but once she was born, we put her on the podium with me when I was doing the announcements so she could assist me in that. And now she is going to be, how was countdown, 2 months?
2 months. Less
2
than
months
2
to
months.
our 18th birthday. And she's my official assistant. Faith is wonderful. Behind the scenes, she is answering when you say hello or good morning or any comments that you make. She provides all the background to all of this. I couldn't do this without her, so I'm so blessed to have her. And she's our soloist right now, so
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Faith, for being here. We love you.
Of course.
And then there is my partner in crime that's been with me since 1998, basically. He was my first baby practitioner that took all of his training with me, and except for one class I think you took at Mile High, was my board president for years and years, and then left me to go to Florida. But now with this wonderful technology, he's back with me. And he is our practitioner of the day. He's going to pray us in, pray us out, and he's available at the end for our 1-minute miracle, which we'll talk about later. Thank you, Oz, for being here. The wise and powerful Oz, everyone. All right. Today's topic is hope is a noun, not a verb. Oh, goodness gracious. And let me introduce our music team. Even though they actually don't sing for us, Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver has provided us with her music, so we have music on Sundays, so we really appreciate that, and Karen Drucker as well. Both of these ladies are wonderful gifts to the religious science community and have gifted us with their collection, so that's very nice. Say hi if you're here. Good morning, hello, however you'd like to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see who's here, and I like that feedback, and I don't get that with this software, so please do let me know you're here. Say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. And if you'd like to do a watch party, there's a watch party button, and that will allow your friends to see what kind of messages they can receive, and you can talk back and forth because you're at home, so you can't bother anybody. I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
The presence of God right here, right now, in all things, as all things, in me and you, in everyone we meet, everything we do. We're surrounded by and immersed in the presence of God. It is all things that are, all things that were, all things that can be, take place within this one great being. I know that being immersed in this being, just like in a hot tub with bubbles, we spend our lives and our days enjoying the presence and the power that this being provides. It moves through us, in us, as us. And I know that it brings all good things into our experience. And this service is just one more of those things. So enjoy and go with the blessings of God in us right now and give thanks that it is so. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, thank you, Oz.
Bubbles.
Bubbles. I know. Oh, gosh, I was listening to that the other day. Oh, I got to get it back on here. For those of you who don't know why Bubbles is funny, right before Oz left for Florida, I sang, what was that song? It was a Bubbles song. That's all I remember.
Not Tiny Bubbles.
No, it wasn't Tiny Bubbles. Oh, my goodness. It was about missing you. That's all I remember.
Aww.
I remember embarrassing you, though.
Yeah.
And I heard that song the other day. And I went right back to that moment. It was really cute.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's my effervescent personality, otherwise known as flatulence.
Yeah, well, and that's what my neighbor calls Faith, too. So it's all interrelated somehow.
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Thanks, Oz.
Okay.
Okay. Gosh, I'll have to remember what it was that I said or sang. Anyway. This next one is a song by Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver that we use as our credo. We are all one. So if you know the words, sing it loud and sing it proud, because you can't bother anybody. If you don't know the words, learn them. It's a great meme to get stuck in your head.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Let me get back to the screen here. I'm busy in the background doing stuff. You're not supposed to know that, though. Okay, so say hello, hi, good morning, however you would like to greet us. When I'm in a facility, I can look out and see who's here, and it just gives me an idea of, who I'm talking to. And I don't have that ability with the software. So say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to do that. Also, if you like something you hear, whether it's something I say or Faith sings or Oz prays, use that thumbs up. And if you love something, of course, there's always the hearts. We love to get love. And if something strikes you as very powerful, let me know I'm on target by doing the wow button. And then I know I've really cornered the market, so to speak. I'm really on target. All right. Without further ado, and Faith, I'm going to just play that one as a video later. I think I can do it that way. So without further ado, here is Faith with a song for you, and I'll let you introduce the song.
Okay. Today we'll be doing Never Give Up by Yolanda Adams. Visions that can change the world, trapped inside an ordinary girl. She looks just like me, too afraid to dream out loud. And though it's simple, your idea, it won't make sense to everybody. You need courage now if you're gonna persevere to find divine purpose. You gotta answer when you're called. So don't be afraid to face the world against all odds. Keep the dream alive, don't let it die. If there's something deep inside, keeps inspiring you to try. Don't stop and never give up. Don't ever give up on you. Don't ever give up. Every victory comes in time. Work today to change tomorrow. It gets easier. Who's to say that you can't fly? Every step you take, you get closer to your destination. You can feel it now. Don't you know you're almost there to fulfill divine purpose? You gotta answer when you're called. So don't be afraid to face the world against the odds. Keep the dream alive, don't let it die. If something's deep inside keeps inspiring you to try, don't stop and never give up. Don't ever give up on you. Sometimes life can place you so in your way, but you gotta keep faith. Bring what's deep inside your heart tonight, and never give up. Don't ever give up on you. Who holds the pieces you need? Puzzle the answers that can solve a mystery. The key, the candle of your understanding. It's all inside of you. You have everything you need. So keep the dream alive, don't let it die. If something's deep inside keeps inspiring you to try, don't stop and never give up. Don't ever give up on you. Sometimes life can place a stone in your way, but you gotta keep the faith. Bring a step inside your heart. No heart to lie, and never give up. Don't ever give up on you.
Thank you, Faith. Oh, goodness. So it's 2021, and it's so weird. Like last night, we started watching South Park, and it was a whole episode on post COVID. And they were like 40 years old. The kids were all 40 years old, and COVID had disappeared off the face of the planet. It was pretty funny. I highly recommend it if you want to go back and watch it. But anyway, here it is. It's 2021. And, some people might say, what a mess. Other people might say, oh, thank God, it looks like we've taken care of COVID. And then, yeah, here we go. Another version of it has showed up. Omicron, I think it's called. Anyway, in addition to having the worldwide pandemic, and we had to shelter in place, we had to stay safer at home, we had to celebrate Thanksgiving with our families and friends by Zoom, and all of this, and then the Omicron comes, this other variant comes in, and it's like, oh gosh, hit after hit after hit after hit, and so I started thinking about hope. Because, we all sit around and think, yeah, I hope this goes away. I hope someday we can. And that's not the kind of hope I'm talking about. That's the hope that is a verb. I really want to focus on hope as a noun. And I'll give you a little bit more information about that in a little while. But I really feel for the parents who have to take on extended roles, and for the students who are losing a piece of their childhood innocence by having to homeschool and having this pandemic looming large over them, and world communities that are looking at systemic racism and the societal inequities that have resulted from generations of inequitable systems. And we're also dealing with unrest and violence in our cities. Apparently, this Omicron has made a lot of European cities shut down again. And so now there's rioting over there. And we're experiencing fires and hurricanes and earthquakes and, yes, even volcanic eruptions. It's kind of interesting to think about all of the things that are going on in the world and how we can still have hope in the midst of all of that. So where do we find hope in a world such as this? When we use hope as a noun instead of a verb, that's how we find hope in the world. I'm not talking about hope like, I hope that person comes back into my life. That's a verb. But as a noun, I have hope that love will be my experience. Or I hope the world will be a better place someday. But instead, I say, what I'm saying is I have hope for a better world than this. Do you hear the difference? Not I hope that this illness I have goes away, but I have hope for my experience of wellness. Having hope and hoping are two totally different experiences. When we sit around and hope and pray and would like and dream about what could be and that whole thing, we're coming from a very victimized position. When we're talking about I have hope for a better life, we are coming from a very victor relationship with the world. And this time of year, we do the Advent topics every year: peace, hope, love, and joy. But we do metaphysical on those topics. But I like to organize it around Hanukkah, because Hanukkah is a time that I like to talk about hope. So today is actually the first day of Hanukkah, the original, like the legit day that it starts. And the last day of Hanukkah is going to be next Sunday. So we're going to light the menorah today and next Sunday. For those of you who don't know, I was raised Jewish, Orthodox Jewish, actually. So one of the things that I get to bring to my ministry is the understanding of Judaism and the understanding of Judeo-Christianity. And I also can bring the tradition of Judaism to my ministry, as well as Christmas. We celebrate both here. And when we had a facility, we actually even celebrated Kwanzaa. It's a little difficult, with doing it online to kind of work all of that in, because I don't have enough room for everything that I would need to set up for Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and a Christmas tree and all of that. So we are going to have a Christmas Eve service, it sounds like. Faith and Tina will both be there, so we'll be doing that. But I want to talk a little bit about why this is a season of hope. And it starts with Hanukkah. So how Hanukkah came about is there were these 4 brothers. If you look at the Greek pronunciation, it's Judas Maccabeus, yeah. But we just call them the Maccabees, the 4 brothers of the Maccabees. And Judea at that time was ruled by the Syrian ruler Antiochus IV, who he didn't let the Jews practice their own religion in freedom. He wanted them to worship his God. And so there was this insurrection, as usually happens, and the Maccabee brothers went off to fight the Syrian army. And while they were gone, Antiochus ordered the city destroyed, including the temple. And not only did they destroy the temple, but they desecrated it. They did ungodly things inside that temple to make it unholy. And then they completely destroyed it. They violated the altars, all of it. And because it was Antiochus' belief that if he destroyed the temple, he would destroy the hope of the Jewish people. That's pretty hard to do, just like Passover. The Jewish people are very resilient. They are just that you just cannot wipe out their hope. It just doesn't happen. When the brothers returned, they started to rebuild the temple, and they realized that they only had enough oil for the candle, or in this case, we say candle, but back then it was oil lamps. But there was only enough oil for that one night. So Judas set off for his 8-day journey to bring back the oil. And the Jews went ahead and lit the candle the first night. Even though they knew there was only enough oil for one night, it burned for 8 nights. And that was the miracle. And that's why there's 8 nights of Hanukkah and why we light candles for 8 days. And unlike regular, Christians or anybody else, we do everything from right to left instead of left to right. So when we read the Torah, it is we read it from right to left instead of, when you're reading a book, normally you're doing this, right, from left to right. Well, in Hebrew, it is read right to left, and that's the way we do our candles for Hanukkah as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and light the candles and do the prayer. And then I will tell you the English version of it. Last time I had Faith put it up there, but I didn't have time to let Faith know what to put up. So I guess I could, I don't know if I can put it up real quick. Oh, I'll just.
I have it.
Oh, you do have it? Awesome.
I believe so. I will throw it up when you start saying the English, and I will figure it out.
Okay. You see why Faith is my assistant? You see, she is so good. I was upstairs and I was thinking, gosh, I really need to send that to her, and then I didn't do it. But she took care of it anyway. So hopefully you can see the menorah. It looks like you can. And so what we have is there should be 8 candles here. We're only going to light the 1 candle. So I only have 1 candle on there today. Next Sunday, we'll be lighting all 8 of them. But then there's also this candle here, the Shabbos candle. The Shabbos candle is the one that we light ahead of time. Maybe. I don't know how to do this. Oh, it's kind of different than the other one. There we go. So we light the Shabbos candle, and that is the candle we use to light the other candles. Again, we do it from right to left. I'm going to say a little prayer, and then Faith is going to put it up in the comments or wherever you put it so it appears on the screen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Chanukah. There we go. Which means, you have it up? Nope.
Do you want to go ahead and start doing the English translation, and I can piece it up on the screen as you say it?
Okay. Blessed art thou the King of the universe, who has made us holy through his commandments, commanding us to light the Hanukkah lights. So that's what that prayer said. And so I have a little I have a little treat for you, but first I want to explain a little bit about actually I'll wait. I'm going to do the video first. This is a little surprise from Tina, who's a singer in our church also. Tina did this as a surprise to me one year, and we put it together last year. And so I'm going to share my screen real quick. Enjoy. Lynn? So wasn't that cool? I mean, think about this. She's Dutch, first of all, okay? And her pronunciation is awesome. For anybody, it's awesome, but especially because her Dutch accent doesn't even show up at all. It's just crazy. So I always like to play that because it's so sweet that, like I said, that was a complete surprise to me. She just got up on the pulpit, asked if she could sing something, and she did. And so I always like to do that. All right, let's see here. All right, so Christianity is derived from Judaism. And so we light the Christmas lights for the same reason we light the menorah, is because it's about the great hope. In Christianity, it's about Jesus being the Messiah, and lighting the lights on the Christmas tree is about the second coming. In religious science, we say the second coming is when we all reach Christ consciousness. He came last time to teach us how, and we got the message wrong, and we thought we were supposed to worship him. He was actually trying to teach us how to develop that Christ consciousness that he had, and it was about us reaching that point in the human race. See, he was not the great exception. He was the great example. And so the second coming is us finally getting the message and starting to act as he did. So this time of year, is celebrated by both Judaism and Christianity as a time of great hope in the world. I mean, even in the secular world, light is synonymous with hope. For instance, light beacons guide ships through storms because it's the hope of land, right? That is how they know there's land coming. And then when we shed light on dark places, hope is alive. So what's really cool about this time of year is all of the different places where light shows up. And it's a time of hope. It's a time for us to not hope for things to come, but to have great hope that things will be better. And so Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, suppose a room has been in darkness for years and we bring in a light. It would make no difference how long the room may have been in the dark. When the light appears, the darkness disappears. And I think that's the point of all of this, with all the lights, with the Hanukkah lights and the Christmas lights and the light towers that show, like, even, if you really look at like an airport at night and you see the runways all lit up, it's because it's guiding the planes in. And I think that hope is that. Hope is the guiding of all of that. When I was growing up in the Orthodox Jewish faith, we didn't have like a Hanukkah bush. And my birthday is December 16th. So it always fell like either right before Hanukkah, right during Hanukkah, or right after Hanukkah. So inevitably there was one gift that I would get for my birthday that would also be, a gift for Hanukkah. So I always felt like I kind of got shafted a little bit in that deal. And then my sister, 13 years later, comes along. And at that time, they started having Hanukkah bushes, which was basically a Christmas tree, except that it was done in blue and white instead of red and green, right? And so you would have this white tree with these blue ornaments, and that was the Hanukkah bush. And one of my nieces actually displayed an ornament on Facebook one time, and it was so cool because it was a Jewish star, but it looked like a Christmas ornament, even though it was blue and white. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just interesting. But I think about all of that around Christmas time, not the shopping part of it, but the lights and the activity. Don't you feel more happy and joyful during Christmas? I mean, I do. As long as I'm not out shopping. Shopping kind of ruins the experience for me. But when you're thinking about friends and family and what to get them, and there's this party atmosphere, and you're running through all of this in hope of a better day, right? Have hope that life will be better than it is now. And both Judaism, Christianity, and religious science have the same message here. And it's a great time for us to explore hope. Not a lot in the there's not a lot in the textbook about it, because Ernest Holmes said hope is a weird word because we start hoping for something instead of recognizing that there is hope. And no matter how dark it seems, no matter what is going on in the world, there's always hope. Hope is the God in the world, you see, knowing that we have a choice to change things, to change our thinking, change our life, that gives us hope. And when we talk about hope, that's the kind of hope we're talking about. See, God doesn't just pick you up to just drop you somewhere, right? I mean, this church, how it came into existence, I know I've shared this before, and probably all of you have heard it, but for those who are out there that have not heard it yet, I had been going through some difficulty in my life. And when I graduated, I co-founded the Denver Church of Religious Science with another minister. And prior to that, while I was in the School of Ministry, I had helped a friend open Sacred Circle Church of Religious Science way up there on 120th and Colorado Boulevard. I don't know what that is, that Brighton. I don't know. Anyway, and so, when things didn't work out at the Denver church and I left and I went back up to Sacred Circle to do some healing work for about 7 months, I started doing visioning. And I had been listening to this tape from Carolyn Mace and Alan Roth, and they were talking about how in relationships, when it doesn't work out, you always leave a piece of yourself behind. And I felt that way at the Denver church because I was in relationship with all of those people at the church as well as the other minister. And I did leave a part of myself behind. And so when I was doing my visioning, which, by the way, we're going to do some visioning at the end of the year here. The last Sunday we'll be visioning for the new year. And for those of you who've done visioning before, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't know what visioning is, it's about capturing God's vision for your life, God within you, but God's vision for your life for that coming year or whatever. And so that's what you're going to be doing we're going to be doing on the last Sunday of the month in December. So anyway, but I was doing some visioning, and, I was thinking, like Alan Roth and Carolyn Mace were talking about how you stand in the river. It's a Native American ceremony where you stand in the river and you call those parts of yourself back that you have left behind in relationships. And so, I envisioned things like, oh, I'm going to go swim with the dolphins, or I'm going to go stand in a river somewhere and call the parts of myself back. Maybe it'll be cold, but I'll be able to do it. I had all these like ideas about what it was going to be. So when I started doing visioning and I'm like, how do I call my spirit back? And it came back as open a church. I was like, Not only no, but hell no. This is my number 3. I don't want to do it anymore. And so I was getting my bathroom done at the time, and the guy had taken apart my bathtub. I'm a bathtub girl. I mean, I will take a shower, but I much prefer taking baths. I even like better washing my hair in the bathtub, under the faucet. So I'm a bathtub girl. And so he took apart my bathtub and he said he'd be back the next day. Well, 4 weeks later, he still hadn't showed up, and I was still doing all this visioning, and I kept getting the same answer. And my answer was the same answer always: no. And finally, I wore it down, and I finally said, okay, fine, I'll open another church. That's fine. I can do this. And within 10 minutes, he called, and then I had my bathroom back the next day. And so my bathtub. And so I think about those things that we are inviting into our lives, the changes we want in our lives that we say no to because we think that that's not the right thing for us. But God has a bigger picture for us than that. And the hope that we have for our lives comes from that bigger picture. It comes from that idea that there is hope in the world for the best. There's hope in the world for no unrest. There's hope in the world for no COVID. There is going to be a post-COVID world someday. I have that hope within me. I know that that is going to be true. You see, someday all of this will be put to rest, and out of that will come the ash, or out of the ashes will come this beautiful, what I like to think of as a dragon, the phoenix. out of these ashes will come this beautiful phoenix, and that is the hope that I have for this world, for my life, for your life, for all of us, you see. And knowing that we have a choice to change things helps us not get into despair. God put me in this ministry not to drop me here. And again, I'm not talking about somebody outside of myself. I'm talking about God within me that knew this was what I needed to do. Because, I've been on this pathway for a lot longer than I thought I was. And so I just didn't know that was the pathway until it was shown to me. When it was shown to me, and I was, I realized that God within me is like urging me forward to do this. I know that God put me here for a reason. And the reason that I believe I'm here is to help other people find their path to God. But I didn't get put here just to be dropped on my face. So when the church has less attendance than I'd like, Dr. Edward Villion, who's our community spiritual leader and a good friend of mine, said in Santa Rosa, they used to take not attendance, but like a head count every Sunday, and there'd be like 600 and 800 and 1200. And sometimes it would drop down to 400 again. And then he'd get all nerdled out about it. And then he started realizing that it wasn't the numbers of people who were attending. It was the numbers of people who developed that Christ consciousness, who were practicing the principles and were able to communicate that to other people. So they were affecting the world. So it was the numbers of those people. And you can't count that. There's no way to keep track of that. So he stopped taking attendance or, counting heads. And so I think of that whenever I get into, there's only 2 people here or 3 people here. I get into that place where I'm like, oh, we're not being very successful. And then I think, no, that's not true, because I don't know how many people are watching later. And I don't know how many of those people are talking to other people. And I don't know what the effect of what we're doing here is on the world. I can't foresee that. Only God knows that. I do know that there have been times when we've had 100 people on here. And I know that we communicate to a lot of the English-speaking parts of the world. We have people from Holland. We have people from the United Kingdom. We have people from Germany who watch us. We have even some that, English is a second language. Some that, there are some challenges with translation in other countries. But for the most part, we are global. And so I don't know what effect this is having on the world. God knows. And as long as I feel that urge within me from God within saying, keep doing this, I will keep doing this. And I won't worry about when there's only 2 people or when there's 100. I won't worry about those numbers, because God didn't pick me and put me here just to drop me here. God didn't decide to rent me for entertainment, right? God doesn't decide to rent anybody for entertainment, and there is no expiration date on prayers. So when we're praying for a better life, when we are working towards that, and we're praying for God's knowledge and wisdom to flow through us to tell us what is the best and highest place for us to be, there is no expiration date on those prayers. And so it's just a continuation. So when I do the prayer the second or third or fourth or fifth time, all I'm doing is adding onto the prayer, the path that has already been set out by the prayer. You see, remember a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was last week, I don't even remember, when I talked about the psychic and how the psychic sees what's going to happen because we've already created that in our minds. And so it's already registered as part of our reality. It just hasn't come into fruition in the physical world yet. But the psychic is seeing that pathway. Just like if you throw a ball at a window, you know it's going to crack that window unless you reach up and intercept it. And so what I know is that prayer works the same way. When I do a prayer, I have set into motion that which I would like to see in the world. And it's not a time thing because God doesn't know anything about time. Time is a relative thing that humans came up with to measure things. God doesn't have time as its perception at all. It is now 11:11, just for those of you who want to know. Hi, Kathy and Fred. But if I don't reach up and intercept that, that's what's going to happen. And so when we have done prayer, what we have done is set those things in motion. And of course, we can always intercept it if we want to, but who would want to? I mean, if we're praying for something, obviously we want that something. So we're going to pray on it and then we're going to leave it alone. And then later on, we might come back and say, yeah, I want to pray on that some more. And by doing that, we're just adding power to that path that has already been created, that groove in the brain, so to speak, that allows the synapses to fire quicker. So we have already created the path, and every time we pray, we're contributing to the energy of that prayer, to the digging in of that pathway. And so that's what's important to remember. So there's no expiration date on that. And when I get discouraged, when I see there's only 2 people here, when I see that, the money hasn't been pouring in, when I see all of those things and I start to get discouraged, what I think about is all of these things that, the Maccabees went off to war and they came back and the temple was destroyed and they were only supposed to have enough oil for the lamp for 1 night, and it lasted 8 nights. There was a miracle that occurred. There was hope for a better world. There was hope for a greater thing. I think about the Christmas lights and the second coming of Christ, which is all of us turning our consciousness into practice of what Jesus was trying to teach us. When I start to get discouraged, I think about these things right away. So I don't get to that place of being discouraged. It just is sort of a thought that pops in my head and is gone. I banish that thought. So I invite you to do the same this week. I invite you to think about those places in your life where you perhaps have given up on yourself, as Faith's saying, or those places where you have given up on a greater world, where you are so enrolled in everything that's going on the news and in the world at large that you forget that there is a power for good greater than that situation that resides within you. I want you to remember that. I want you to look in the mirror and see God. I want you to look in the mirror and see the perfect person, because God doesn't make junk, right? God only makes perfection. And so we're looking in the mirror, we're seeing ourselves for who we truly are. We're looking at the world and we're knowing that there is hope for a much better world, a hope that we would really enjoy this world, right? Can you do that with me this week? Can you focus on being in hope? Not hoping, but being in hope. Let's have a prayer. So right now I turn my awareness to that infinite power, that infinite presence of God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful, how beautiful, how amazing God is. For God is all there ever has been, all there ever will be, and all there is right here, right now. Only God. And that is where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that is God within me. That is the flow of God as it flows through me. My reality, my world, my being. I know that same truth to be so for God's team that I have been gifted with, for Tina and for Faith and for Lynn and for Oz. For I do know that that is the power of God, the wisdom of God that flows through it all. So I just acknowledge this power and presence that flows through it all. I know it for those that are watching here, whether that be in real time or later on, because I do know that there is no place where one leaves off and the other begins. There is only the one power, one presence, one life, one wisdom, and it is in and through all of us. Mataku Yasin, all my brethren, we are all one. So I bless this coming week because I do know that this week is blessed with opportunities to see the truth of God beyond all of this, to welcome the great hope into our lives, to know that the lights that show up on Hanukkah and Christmas, even on the towers and the runways and everywhere else in life where we see the lights, they are reminders that there is a better world. There is hope for the world. So this week, I know that every name that is in the ministry of prayer today is blessed with that same awareness that no matter what condition they're experiencing, the truth of God being more powerful than that condition pulls through. And I just lift the veil now and pull it through so that it is more apparent as I claim it for them in their name here and now as good and very good. And I know that it is done. And so I give thanks that that is so. And to be in service this way, my heart just fills with gratitude as I just let this be. And so it is. Amen. Wow, I get so high when I pray. Okay. Whew. This is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express your gratitude for that which you have already received and that which you have manifested but may not have shown up yet in physical form. Like I said, you created the pathway already, and it's on track for that. Please go to www.oasiscsl.org. And about 2/3 down the page, there is an offering affirmation we use to bless the money that goes in and comes out that we're going to ask you to say along with us, whether that's in real time or later on. And then directly under that is the Contribute Now button, which allows you to contribute to the message of God getting out into the world, because that's really what you're contributing to. So again, go to www.oasiscsl.org. It's there on the screen, and Faith has got it in the comments as well. And say this offering affirmation with me. It is about 2/3 down the page. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. All right. Hit that Contribute Now button. And let's move on to announcements. And then I have another little surprise at the end here. Instead of doing the blessing song, we're going to do something else. Okay. We have this wonderful ministry of prayer called our God Squad, who are licensed practitioners. We had this wonderful ministry of prayer team that we call our God Squad from coast to coast that will pray on those requests every day for a week. If you would like to be, well, so first of all, God, I can't seem to do the announcements today. I don't know what happened to me. In the comments section, if you would like prayer for something, please put it in there. If you don't want it to be public, you can DM one of us and let us know, okay? And Faith will put it on that private facing group page that is for our God Squad. If you would like to be a member of our God Squad and you are not a licensed practitioner, don't despair. As long as you are willing to commit to doing affirmative prayer every day for a week and keep those prayer requests confidential, you can be on our God Squad. So just type yes in the comments section, and Faith will add you to our private group page on Facebook. All right. And if you would like to be part of our online community and find out about things in advance of the rest of the world finding out about them, type more in the comment section and she will add you to our public facing group page. That is our online community. Now, let me say a little bit about the 1 Minute Miracle, because Oz is available for that today after the service. If you have something you would like to talk to him about, you can reach out to him through video chat and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. It's not a time for counseling, but it is a time for him to pray for whatever condition you're experiencing. If he doesn't answer right away, please know he's on with someone else, and try back in a little while. Our practitioners, our licensed practitioners, are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance as well. So if you are interested in setting up an appointment with one of them, you can reach out through Facebook to Oz or Tina or Celeste or Annie. I think that's it right now. And Annie Glasgow, Celeste Haskell, Bob Oswald, Oz, and Albertina Giuffre. Those are our practitioners. So you can reach out to one of them, let them know. They will arrange for payments, either Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Everybody does their own thing, and then they'll set up an appointment time with you, and they'll reach out by video chat whenever your appointment is. But take advantage of this loving service they provide. Practitioners are awesome. I wouldn't be where I am today without practitioners, so I just need you to know that, because anytime you're dealing with anything, they are the people to talk to. All right, let me pull up. Okay, Brooks and Bailey. We have mala beads and bracelets. I don't have my bracelet on today. Again, I keep forgetting to put my bracelet on. I don't know what's going on with that. But all the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, a very worthy cause. You can reach them by brooksandbailey0307@gmail.com. They also have a Facebook page. So just to let you know that. And then Faith's little thing here.
And go check out the Mystic Brew. We are doing Cyber Monday, and everything will be 50% off. So please go check it out. Grab something for you to use during any of your spiritual practices, whether it's praying, meditation, just focusing on any intention you have. Go check it out. All of that will be available on our website starting at midnight tonight for that amazing deal, and the promo code will be posted. Also, make sure to follow our Instagram and Facebook at the Mystic Brew 303 for all awesome updates about any upcoming events or anything that is our special offer.
Thank you, Faith. All right. And as an accoutrement to that, we have Angel Renee has these intention candles, which are $25, and this intention tea bag that you put into your bath, which is really cool. So they all assist you with the herbs and the smells and everything. They all assist you on focusing on that intention. I think the tea bags are $10, if I remember right. And it's in. She has an Etsy account, and all of that Faith has put in the comments so that you have that information available. I also like to acknowledge the music, because we couldn't do this without music. We have Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's music, and you will have to contact her by email if you find a CD that you want to buy. She's traveling all over the United States all the time singing, and she always has them in her trunk, and for some reason she can't update her website, so she can't give you new information on how to pay her. So if you reach out by email, she'll let you know how to get the money to her, and she will send you CDs. And then we have Karen Drucker's website. Karen Drucker has gifted us with her entire collection, which is like 20 CDs. Both the singles, the CDs themselves, the songbooks, all of that are available on her website. If you like the songs you hear here, a lot of those are going to be right on Karen Drucker's website. And she does have a way for you to pay for it right then and there. Makes a great gift for Christmas, by the way, guys. Definitely. Any of the things that we're talking about here, the mala beads and bracelets, the intention jars, the intention candles, all of that, as well as obviously these CDs. I think that's one of the best gifts you can give somebody is a CD that gives them something to sing along with that has a positive message, right? I love that. Okay. And so also check out www.oasiscsl.org. We have all of our we have pictures up from all of the events that we've had at our church when we had a facility. So it kind of gives you an idea of who the people are. Also, you can see the video sermons for the last year and a half. And you can see the audio sermons from years prior, or you can listen to the audio sermons from years prior. We are also on YouTube and SoundCloud under S. Tucker. YouTube has the videos from the last year and a half, and SoundCloud has the audio files from all the years prior. So I'm going to play a little video instead of our normal video. So I'm going to have Oz pray us out, and then I'm going to thank you for being with us today, and then we'll go to that video, okay? Just in case they shut us down. Here's Oz. Maybe.
We are. I know at this moment that God is right here, right now, wherever we are. And since we did one great faith, we got the other one here. And it's Advent. So I was raised Catholic, so this is what we had to look at. We do have a spare baby Jesus, I'll let you know. But I know that God is right here, right now, in us, as us, and spreads its blessings wherever we go. For wherever we go, there is God. And I know this is a good thing and a very good thing. And I give thanks that it is so, and I let it be. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much for being here. We love all of you. Make sure you're here every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Make sure you come next Sunday to see all of the Christmas or all of the Hanukkah candles burning. And of course, listen to our wonderful music and our prayers. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. But in the meantime, we love you, and listen to this video as a closeout to the service. Bye. We love you.
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Okay. I must have closed out of it. Hang on 1 second, guys. Didn't mean to do that.
There's only one number that matters in sports, the number 1. So bet with the best right now during FanDuel's Black Friday event. Sign.
Okay. This is a song that there's a lot of Christmas songs out there, and not too many Hanukkah songs. So wrote a song for all those nice little Jewish kids who don't get to hear any Hanukkah songs. Here we go. Put on your yarmulke, here comes Hanukkah. So much Hanukkah to celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah is festival of lights. Instead of one day of presents, we have 8 crazy nights. When you feel like the only kid in town without a Christmas tree, here's a list of people who are Jewish, just like you and me. David Lee Roth lights the menorah. So do James Caan, Kirk Douglas, and the late Dinah Shore. Guess who eats together at the Carnegie Deli? Bowser from Shanana and Arthur Fonzarelli. Paul Newman's half Jewish, Goldie Hawn's half too. Put them together, what a fine looking Jew. You don't need deck the halls or jingle bell rock, 'cause you can spin a trailer with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, both Jewish. Put on your yarmulke, it's time for Hanukkah. The owner of the Seattle Supersonicers celebrates Hanukkah. O.J. Simpson, not a Jew. But guess who is? Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted. We got Ann Landers and her sister dear Abby. Harrison Ford's a quarter Jewish, not too shabby. Some people think that Ebenezer Scrooge is. Well, he's not, but guess who is? All three Stooges. So many Jews are in showbiz. Tom Cruise isn't, but I heard his agent is. Tell your friend Veronica, it's time you celebrate Hanukkah. Oh, forget a harmonica on this lovely, lovely Hanukkah. So drink your gin and tonica and smoke your marijuana. If you really Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah.
Bye, everybody. We love you. See you next week.